How's it going, my squids? Today we're going to be taking a look at Sylvanus, or revisiting Sylvanus. My last guide on him was a long time ago, back in Season 4 during 2017, and yeah, so this was requested by Taylor Marlins, so without further ado, let's just jump into it. So I don't really have much to say about Sylvanus description-wise because I don't really see a lot of people talking about him. I don't see professional players playing them, or when they mention him during tier list builds and whatnot, they don't really say a whole lot about Sylvanus, so I can't really be like, yo, he's really good or he's really bad, you know, objectively when it comes to professional play or ranked or anything like that. What I can talk about is my experiences with Sylvanus, and which I can say are positive. He's really good. He's got CC, he's got sustain, he's got damage. This man can literally do it all, or this tree can do it all. He's really good. He can do, like, so many different things. The only real downside is that, like, he's really hard to utilize because most people know what he can do. And his abilities are kind of hard to use just because it's based off of his pull, but if you hit the 1, which guarantees the pull, which guarantees the full combo, and then healing, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of micromanagement and whatnot, so you have to be kind of a little careful with Sylvanus. But I would say he's pretty, you know, self-explanatory and kind of easy, but with a little dash of difficulty, so just take that as you will. I don't really have anything else to say other than this guy can spoon feed ADCs like no other. I mean, literally, he gets a pick, he pulls them in, he ults them, a bunch of tick damage, and then like he basically destroys whoever he gets the pick on, and then the ADC, all they have to do is just follow up and destroy them. That's it. You couldn't serve a fucking pick up to an ADC any more than that. It's not even spoon feeding at this point. He's just literally putting an IV into your veins and just feeding you kills left and right, so I don't really have anything else left to say. So we're gonna jump on over to the build now, which I've got two builds for you guys. I've got this build right here, and then I've also got pretty much the same build, but Breastplate and Genji's Guard is replaced with Heart Word and Sovereignty. So let me explain this build first before we jump into the other one. This build is more or less for presence and team fighting, and more for CDR and just being able to use more abilities, more heals, just being a general nuisance when actually team fighting. You've got a lot of CDR from your CDR boots, Breastplate and Genji's Guard, and Mantle of Discord. You've got plenty of CDR to be able to spam your abilities. Not only that, but you pretty much have the ability to be an utter annoyance with this build because you're going to be healing your team a bunch of, and then you're going to be like doing a bunch of CC. You have so much that you can do during a team fight, and that's what you're going to be playing around. Now, for the other build, it's a bit different because I'm more or less playing for my laner, so I'll get Sovereignty and Heart Word to make sure that they don't get blasted by some bullshit. So that's the other like side of it. It depends on how you want to play. If you want to play for your laner or you want to play for the late game and team fighting. Just as a heads up, if you build Sovereignty and Heart Word, don't get the wrong idea that you can't team fight. It's just you'll be missing out on some CDR. So it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal, but that there is a difference that helps. So we go into our CDR boots for the obvious cooldown reduction and a little bit of damage and the mana. Then we go into Gauntlet of Thieves because this item is super good on literally any support that actually supports. So yeah, mine is like Bracket and like Bacchus, but you know, it still works. Then Breastplate and Genji's for the obvious reasons, and then we go into Rod of Asclepius, as I like to call it, which basically it got buffed, and which is why it's core on Sylvanus now, because it used to be 75 magical power, now it's 90. That's a huge buff. Not only that, but the passive is super dank. Healing increased by 10%, and then when you're in combat, you get an additional 15%. That's just gross. You always build this item on Sylvanus, but the reason you build it later than sooner is because this is for the team fighting. This is for the late game stuff. You don't need this item early on. You've got plenty of sustain, you've got plenty of CDR early on to deal with whatever you need to deal with. This is for the team fight. This is for the late game, so don't build this any sooner than pretty much towards the end of the game. Then we've got Mantle of Discord for the obvious CDR, and then the 60 magical and physical protections, plus the passive gives you a shockwave that stuns people, so it's extra CC, so, you know, it's good. As I say, pretty much you build how you want, and you know there's core items, and then you pretty much build whatever you need to build. So if you need to build Pestilence, build Pestilence. If you need to build, you know, Mantle of Discord, build Mantle of Discord. You know, it just kind of, the last item is kind of up to you and your situation. Don't ever build the same every game. All right, just That's what a bad player does. So just take a look at the team comp and then see what item works for you. And as for starter items, you always go Guardian's Blessing. You really don't differ from this. This is a really good blessing, and it's super good as a starter item. You should always get it. Alright, so now we're going to jump on over to his abilities, and we're going to start with his passive, which is Nature's Protection. Basically, when people hit you, it has a 25% chance to root them for 1 second, and your autos actually fucking are AoE. Like, they're literally AoE, so... Sylvanus is the only person, I believe, that actually has auto attacks that are fucking AoE. That's ridiculous. They're not the hardest hitting auto attacks in the world, but it does make your life a little bit easier, so enjoy it. Then we jump on over to his first ability, which is Verdant Growth, which basically you throw down some weed and then you let that shit grow, and then boom, boom, you start smoking it, and then you get some mana back, and then if the enemy tries to steal your weed and smoke it, it poisons the fuck out of them. So that's not all it does, honestly. I'm kidding. I mean, it really does give you mana. Like, if you can stack these 3 times and it gives you mana, which stacks, which is gross because you can just stand in it and sustain your mana, which means you can sustain your heal. And it's just gross because he has so much sustain where he can heal you, he can give his team mana, he can give yourself mana. It's just gross. What do you do against that? Not only that, but when somebody tries to smoke up with you, boom, they get poisoned. So what else is there? Not only that, but if you hit this, it actually roots them for a split second, which you can use to guarantee your pull. So it's probably one of his best abilities because this is what you play off of. You're either giving your team mana and health, or you're gonna get a pick and then pull somebody and then kill them. Now remember that this does reduce protections. It does not hurt them. It reduces protections. I kind of made it sound like they lose health whenever they come up and hit this. So basically, when they hit this ability and they break the little plant, it releases some kind of spore, and then, you know, it gives them reduced protections. So just to clarify. Then we have his second ability, which is Wisps, and it's pretty self-explanatory. This is your heal, and then your like protections gained. So pretty much you pop this, and then you go boom. You heal your team, and then it causes dot damage for the enemy. So it's good, and you get free protections. So yay. And then I've kind of already showed off the third ability, which is just his pull. So you use this in combination with your 1, and then you use your 3. And then, yeah, and also, side note, your Wisps can actually go through walls, and then you can also pull through walls as well. So yeah, it's a neat little thing. You know, just deny all physics and just pull people through walls. Like, there's a wormhole there. And then we've got the big damage ultimate. Basically, it's this massive AoE, and then it knocks everybody up, and then it does about 500 damage in tick for, you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna show you guys the combos really quick. So you've got 2 combos that I mainly use. I don't really think there's anything else, but you go 1, 3, ult, pop your 2, and then boom. They're taking so much tick damage that they've already lost half their health. Your ADC, all they gotta do, walk up, hit the damn thing, and then boom, done. Spoon feeding at its finest. The secondary combo is kind of a little bit harder to use, but not really. Basically, you use your ultimate, you wait a second, then you use your 3, and then you use your 1, and then you pop your 2, and then boom, boom, boom. Again, same thing. They lose half their health. Your ADC walks up, hits them, and then that's it. We'll go over here and demonstrate on Raw so you guys can see the power of Sylvanus and how gross he can be. First, we gotta get him to pop his ult, or else he's gonna be a bitch about it. So basically, we'll pop this, wait a second, pull him, 1, and then 2, and then boom, boom, boom. As you guys can see, look at that damage. Look at that damage. What do you do against that? Oh, like if that's not serving your ADC on a silver platter, it's a silver platter. I don't really know what is, because that's gross. All your ADC has to do is just smack him once. That's it. It's as simple as that. Anyway, that concludes the Sylvanus video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Shout out to Taylor Marlins for, you know, hitting me up and asking me to do this video. If you guys have any requests or suggestions, put them in the comment section below. I reply to everybody that I can. And yeah, thank you guys again. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.